The Senate will come to order. We are on the fourth agenda for the day. Order 4, reports of committees.
Mr. President, your Committee on Government Affairs, to which was referred Assembly Bill number 462, is had the same under consideration and begs leave to report the same back with the recommendation amend and do pass as amended. Signed, Senator Edgar Flores, Chair. Mr. President, your Committee on Judiciary, to which was referred Assembly Bill number 381, is had the same under consideration and begs leave to report the same back with the recommendation amend and do pass as amended. Signed, Senator Melanie Scheibel, Chair. Mr. President, your Committee on Legislative Operations and Elections, to which was referred Assembly Bill number 534, has had the same under consideration and begs leave to report the same back with the recommendation do pass. Signed, Senator James Orenshall, Chair. End of reports.
Order of business 9, motions, resolutions, and notices. Senator Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would move to take Senate Bill number 460 and place it on general file this agenda for immediate consideration.
Order of business 13, general file.
Senate Bill 460, introduced by Senators Cannizzaro, et cetera, revises provisions relating to education. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in Senate Assembly, to enact as follows, Section 1 into Section 1.
Are there any amendments?
I have amendment number 925, proposed by Senator Cannizzaro.
Senator Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to dispense with the reading of the amendment.
There are no objections. So ordered. Senator Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would move to adopt amendment number 925 to Senate Bill number 460.
You've heard the motion. Senator Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. Amendment number 925 to Senate Bill 460 does many things, so hang with me for a moment. It requires public elementary schools, rather than the State Board of Education, to prepare an academic achievement improvement plan, establishes a procedure for the waiver of certain reporting requirements, establishes measures for the designation of school districts and public schools as low-performing or underperforming, and requires a state superintendent to place underperforming districts or charter school sponsors on probation in certain circumstances, authorizes a system of open enrollment, authorizes the superintendent to address such entities who do not make adequate progress toward meeting certain goals or benchmarks, including implementing corrective measures, creates the Education Service Center to provide assistance and guidance to public schools and districts experiencing low performance, changes the name of the School District Oversight Board and the Public Education Oversight Board that may be impaneled in certain related circumstances, revises the eligibility of existing grants supporting early childhood literacy and readiness programs to ENSHI, expands the categories of children served by such a program and creates similar provisions for pre-K, amends the teacher to administrator ratio for those in Clark County School District, requires the creation of a grant program to assist certain pupils in obtaining transportation to school, revises certain provisions relating to literacy, proficiency, and intervention, requires a minimum number of days for professional development, repeals the authority for a local school precinct to operate using site-based decision-making, and revises provisions concerning the involvement or school organizational teams when a principal vacancy occurs, codifies certain provisions outlining the Nevada Educational Choice Scholarship Program and revises provisions relating to the program, revises certain prohibitions concerning sponsoring a new charter school, expanding enrollment, or operating on additional campuses, establishes a pilot program to the extent money is available for grants to integrate science, technology, engineering, and mathematics into literacy instruction, provides school employees immunity from certain liability, provides for certain requirements relating to an endorsement to teach students in K through 3, and requires certain training in the science of reading, revises certain provisions relating to a post-probationary employee of a school district, including provisions relating to an additional probationary period, provides for the tracking of data relating school administrator training program effectiveness and any recommendations, authorizes rather than requires a central repository and NDE to participate in the RAP-BAC program, requires certain negotiations between a large school district and employee organization concerning a differential pay schedule for certain Title I school personnel, requires the Commission on School Funding rather than the legislative auditor to perform certain tasks, authorizes ENSHI institutions to establish a pilot program to offer an alternative pathway for assessing the competency of prospective teachers using alternative assessment methods, and makes other amendments.
Any further remarks on the amendment? Seeing none, those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. SB 460 is now ready for final consideration.
Senate Bill 460, introduced by Senators Cannizzaro, et cetera, revises provisions relating to education. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in Senate Assembly, to enact as follows, Section 1 into Section 1.
Are there further amendments?
There are none. Section 86, end of Section 86, end of bill.
Senator Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise in support of Senate Bill 460. This bill has been and does mark a compromise among a variety of educational proposals that have been being considered this legislative session. And I think does markedly note that we as a legislative body, in conjunction with the governor's office, have come to an agreement on some of the things that we know are good for students. We know that accountability is something that has to come. It has to come for parents, and it has to come for students. Parents are wondering about whether or not there is accountability in our school systems, and I think that Senate Bill 460 has made significant strides to create oversight boards to ensure that we are developing plans that really talk about how it is we are going to propel our students forward, that we are looking at how our teachers and our administrators and our personnel are performing to make sure that we are doing everything we can to help assist them, not just to say that if a teacher or a school or an administrator isn't doing their job, that they should not continue to do those things, but that how is it that we are supporting them along the way so that we are really preparing teachers to go into a classroom and to teach young students. It makes significant investments in our pre-K, bless you, in our pre-kindergarten and in also literacy programs, and also involves ensuring that we are teaching the science of reading and that we're investing in professional development for teachers who are teaching those K through 3 grades. I think that that is so important. A child's early literacy and early childhood development and early education is the best thing that we can do. Study after study has shown this, that this is the best investment that we can make for kids to make sure that they are successful. It prepares them for whatever that educational journey is. And if we can get that right, if we can get the beginning of a child's education right, they will be so much more successful in whatever it is they choose to do. And so this bill represents a strong stride in that direction, and something that I think I personally believe in, and I know that many Nevadans are looking for some ways in which to do that. And so this bill also looks to seek to find ways on how we expand those spots for young kids to make sure they get that good start in the first instance. It also includes transparency and accountability across the board for every time that we are using public dollars that are invested into our education system. This provides a lot of parameters around how it is that we are also evaluating teachers. And I think that that's important too, because a lot of teachers have kids in their classroom who are struggling with a lot of different things. And so how can we make sure that we're providing those supports? I think that this bill has a number of different pieces to it. I know it is a lengthy bill, but it represents more than anything else that we believe in our kids, that we are going to set them up for success, and that along the way, there's going to be accountability, that we are going to be able to know how public dollars are being spent and what those outcomes are, so it provides that transparency. It allows us to educate children better, so it provides that efficiency. And this is the very least that I think that we can do as a body and as a state to make sure that we are delivering for the Nevadans who sent us here, for the parents who are wondering, for the kids who are stepping into classrooms, to make sure they always have a qualified educator in the classroom with them. And so, Mr. President, I would strongly urge my colleagues' support of Senate Bill 460. Thank you.
Are there further remarks? Senator Titus.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am happy to rise in support of Senate Bill 460 with its amendments. I think that this was a huge topic of discussion between the majority leader and myself, and most importantly, our governor. I think I'm looking forward to not only supporting this bill, but to actually see it change the needle in outcomes for our children, because at the end of the day, all of us in this building really want to, yes, see our education folks, our educators supported, but most importantly, we want to see better outcomes for our children. So I really believe this is an absolute step in the right direction, so I urge my colleagues' support. Thank you, Mr. President.
Are there further remarks? Secretary will open the roll. Anyone wish to change their vote? Secretary will close the roll. Yeses are 21 and noes are 0. SB 460 has received A constitutional majority, Senate Bill 460 is ready to be immediately transmitted to the Assembly.
That concludes Order of Business 13.
All right, the fifth agenda for the day. Order of Business 4, reports of committees.
Your Committee on Finance. Mr. President, your Committee on Finance, to which will refer to Assembly Bills numbers 49, 108, 169, 212, 221, 296, 304, 331, 375, 409, 467, 475, 476, 479, 533, 542, 558, 567, 568, 581, 585, and 595 has had the same under consideration. Begs leave to report the same back with the recommendation do pass. Also, your Committee on Finance, to which will re-refer to Assembly Bills numbers 93, 356, 366, 514, and 550 has had the same under consideration. Begs leave to report the same back with the recommendation do pass. Also, your Committee on Finance, to which will refer to Assembly Bills numbers 188, 251, 284, 494, 515, 571, and 596 has had the same under consideration. Begs leave to report the same back with the recommendation amend and do pass as amended. Also, your Committee on Finance, to which was re-referred to Assembly Bill number 282, has had the same under consideration. Begs leave to report the same back with the recommendation amend and do pass as amended. Signed, Senator Marilyn Dondera Loop, Chair. End of reports.
Order of Business 12, second reading.
Assembly Bill 381, introduced by Assembly Members Hardy, Hibbets, Gonzalez, and Wynn, and Senator Scheibel, revises provisions relating to animals. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in Senate Assembly, to enact as follows: Section 1 into Section 1.
Are there any amendments?
I have amendment number 963, proposed by the Senate Committee on Judiciary.
Senator Scheibel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to dispense with the reading of Amendment 963.
If there are no objections, so ordered. Senator Scheibel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to adopt Amendment 963 to AB 381.
You've heard the motion. Senator Scheibel.
This makes various changes to the bill, including removing sections and other improvements.
Any further remarks on the amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. AB 381 is ordered reprinted, engrossed, and to the general file.
Assembly Bill 462, introduced by Assemblymember Backus, revises provisions relating to economic development. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in Senate Assembly, to enact as follows: Section 1 into Section 1.
Are there any amendments?
I have amendment number 962, proposed by the Senate Committee on Government Affairs.
Senator Flores.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to dispense with the reading of the amendment.
There are no objections. So ordered. Senator Flores.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of amendment numbers 962 to Assembly Bill 462.
You've heard the motion. Senator Flores.
Thank you, Mr. President. The amendment provides for the payment of prevailing wage with respect to work performed in relation to an undertaking that receives an allocation of tax revenue pursuant to provisions of this bill.
Any further remarks on the amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. AB 462 is ordered reprinted, engrossed, and to the general file.
Assembly Bill 534, introduced by the Assembly Committee on Legislative Operations and Elections, revises provisions relating to elections. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in Senate Assembly, to enact as follows: Section 1 into Section 1.
Are there any amendments?
There are none.
AB 534 is ordered to the general file.
That concludes Order of Business 12 on the fifth agenda.
Order of Business 16, remarks on the floor, introduction of guests. Senator Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I know the time is tight, but I would be remiss if I didn't just say on the record that congratulations to my niece. She is the first female in the fifth generation of my family. She's an IB graduate from our high school in Sacramento and off to UC Riverside for college, and I am here today instead of being there. So I needed to put that on the record so I can come back and show her. So everybody, just give a hand and clap for my niece. Congratulations. We're so proud of her. Thank you so much.
Senator Scheibel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't have such good news, only that the Senate Judiciary Committee will be meeting behind the bar after we go to recess.
Senator Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. And with that fun fact, I would move that the Senate stand in recess until the call of the chair.
We are in recess.